Here comes the boy, hello boy, welcome, there he is.
I'm sure you can tell who my favorite is just from that, right? Heyo! Time for the next batch of weapons to put in a tier list. Today's episode is for the Doctor. I always gravitate towards healers and supports in RPGs and team games because I just like helping other people out and healing them. And well, someone's gotta do it if you want to win. It also just allows me to be more observant in my surroundings and just watch the chaos unfold. A good doctor is an essential backbone to a good team, since they allow easy access to healing. And while Doc doesn't have a lot of different weapons in his kit, he easily has some of, if not the best weapons in general. So let's not waste any more time and get to it. When I said that Doctor has some really good stuff, I meant it, because we're beginning with the good tier. To start off, we have the Mercy Kill. This is for those that want to cosplay as one of Blizzard's favorite characters to give skins to. Though if you ask me, it feels more like Zadina from Q-Clash. With these, you essentially have the Parabomber with extra jump height, allowing you to stay airborne for long periods of time and opening up extra places you can escape to when needed. While you are sacrificing ranged defense, in exchange it makes you harder to hit with great maneuverability. Next up, we have the Blood Doctor. Combine the Vaccinator and the Crits Krieg and you get this: 2-second mini crit boost on 4 separate charges. For some reason, I tend to see a lot of docs run this and I don't quite get it. Because if they pop a charge on you and you need to reload, you effectively do nothing with it. Not to say it can't be useful, because any crit boost removes all fall off damage from your weapons, which makes their effective range much longer than normal, especially for hit scan weapons like shotguns and miniguns. So with decent timing and coordination, you can break through small chokes bit by bit and push through the enemy's defenses. Coming up is the Dentist Delight. This essentially follows the high risk, high reward trope. Every time you land a hit with it, you get a tooth. On the next use of your Uber, the duration increases by 1 per tooth you have, up to 5 seconds longer. So that means up to 13-second Ubers for stock, crits, and the Rejuvi, and 7-second Ubers for the Vaccinator and Blood Doctor. Even just 1 tooth is enough to throw off the muscle memory of a good player that would usually wait and time their shots as soon as the Uber ends, especially since the sound doesn't extend with it at all. Usually, if you're fighting in melee range, there's a good chance you're gonna die. But if you manage to survive, you get a surprise tool that'll hurt them later. Last weapon here is the Pestilence Poker. This is Doc's Get Off Me tool. It deploys quicker and deals pretty high knockback on hit, at the cost of less damage and a slower holster. This is mainly used to get some distance on someone chasing you down, though from what I've seen, some docs just tend to use it offensively by knocking someone back into a wall. It's pretty decent, though the effectiveness is slightly reduced ever since they implemented the delay before the damage comes out, just like in TF2. Also, it just looks cool, though that's probably because I just like the attire of Plague Doctors in general. This works well for those that have issues with enemies in their face or just want to be a bit more passive in their playstyle. We've now arrived at the Great tier, starting with the Syringe SMG. Unlike Medic's Syringe Gun, not only is it hit scan, but it also has healing darts you can fire off that act as weaker crossbow bolts. This is for if you want to have something a bit more consistent in dealing damage. Do keep in mind though that unlike the crossbow, you have to have the weapon out to reload it, and the darts come from your clip. But if you're good with other tracking weapons, you shouldn't have too much of an issue with this. Next, we have the Overdrive. Take Medic's Overdose and put it into a pair of sneakers and you get this. Not only do you move faster with more Uber, but you also have an extra bit of speed that's always present, so you can get in and out of situations much easier, or try to secure a kill with your melee since you can outspeed them and close the gap with no issue. You do have to rely on your team a bit more than the wings since you're still on the ground, but the speed you get is worth it if you ask me. Here we have the Vaccinator. While it may seem a little odd to put it here and not higher, I just don't get much enjoyment out of using it compared to other Mediguns. It works the same as in TF2, except for the fact that you can't stack charges, so you can only do one at a time, as well as it not really being visible as to which resistance is currently active when fighting a Vaccinator Doctor. The only thing I really use this for is whenever I have to do doctor contracts that involve using a certain amount of supercharges in one life. Outside of that, I don't ever touch this thing, but it can still be a nuisance in the right hands. Last one here is one of my personal favorite melees, the Amputator. Being able to heal everyone in an AoE is quite nice. Even more so here in TC2, since not only do you get the healing from the taunt, but you can also heal people through walls, which makes it great for if you need a moment to recover, but others nearby are also low, so you don't have to worry about them being barely out of line of sight, just whether or not they're in range. I love this thing, so I just wish I could use it more often. We've finally reached the excellent tier, the best of the best. First up is a syringe crossbow, TC2's Crusader's crossbow, but as a stock weapon. While it doesn't have reverse fall off, it still provides really good constant burst healing outside of your Medigun's range, and provides decent damage as well. It's an essential tool if you're aiming to keep your team up as long as possible, because there's going to be a lot of instances where your patient takes a lot of burst damage that your Medigun can't out-heal by itself. Plus, you get a little charge from it when you heal people, so it's quite nice to have. Next we have another one of my favorites, the Dairy Dowser. This is what you get when you put Flanker's Mad Milk in the barrel of a gun. This allows you to provide extra support for your team by allowing them to lifesteal off of someone they're actively fighting, as well as being able to extinguish fires, because I cannot trust my arsonist to do something that simple. It's also one of the best options for self-defense, since you also get the healing from the damage dealt by the Dowser alongside any melee damage you deal. So if you can land your shots, you can be a lot harder to kill up close. Now we're on to Old Reliable with the stock Medigun. Nothing compares to being completely for 8 seconds. It's the go-to for when you need to push through a group of enemies or destroy a sentry nest with ease. Just be careful that you don't run into an arsonist that knows how to keep you away with Air Blast. Even though it takes the longest to build that charge, it's easily one of, if not the strongest one of the bunch. Moving on, we have the Kritzkrieg. Here's a question for you. How can you tell that someone has a pocket on them? Simple. The doc is always going to run this. And honestly, I don't blame them. Being able to deal triple your normal damage without fall off for 8 seconds is a godsend. As a doctor, it is quite nice just being able to trust someone who's performing well and just go,
"You're powered up. Destroy them."
And watch them shred, burn, or just blow up everyone in front of you out of existence. I don't use it much nowadays myself, but I did use it a lot in the past, because if you had it active and switched to your crossbow or your melee and attacked fast enough, you could actually get it to be crit boosted, since the crit charge lingered for a bit when switching weapons. Now I don't think you can do that anymore, but it was fun when you could. Ah, my baby boy. It's beautiful. I will love and cherish you forever, and nothing is ever going to change that. As you can clearly tell, I love the Rejuvenator, TC2's quick fix. Healing folks is in my blood. It's what I naturally gravitate towards by default when I play new games. It has the highest base healing of all the Mediguns, but the lowest overheal. The charge is a lot more useful than one would think. Tripling the healing on your patient and yourself is not something to underestimate. Plus, you're also immune to all forms of slows and knockback, so an arsonist can't air blast you off the map. Do keep in mind though, you are still susceptible to agents, marksmen, and high burst damage in general, so be careful if you come across any of these. It's also quite nice just being able to heal a trooper or an annihilator and hitch a ride as they blast, jump, or charge towards the point. Though sometimes I use it to go in deep and jump scare someone who's not at all prepared to see a doctor flying at them at Mach 5. However, it's got some bugs at the moment that prevent the mirroring from working properly, even though that was supposed to be fixed. I have loved this thing for years, and if you're wondering how I know so much about it, trust me. I know. For context, normally the highest rank for strangers is Fitton's Own. For Mediguns, this is achieved at 2 million healing, originally 2.5 million. But there's one more rank exclusive to Mediguns called British, which is obtained at 6,666,666 healing. I was the first to achieve this on the Rejuvenator back in early 2024, and hit 10 million 1 year later. So yeah, I've got plenty of experience on this. Anyway, moving on to the stock saw. In TF2, this is easily one of the worst stock weapons because all of Medic's unlocks have much better benefits than it. But here it's one of the best for Doc thanks to the upsides it was given. Not only does it have the candy cane benefit of dropping health packs on kill, minus you dropping one on death, but it also allows you to heal more from those health packs. So it's one of the best melees to have for survival, especially since it doesn't have any swing speed or damage penalty like the others. Last, but certainly not least, we have the good old Super Saw, CC2's Uber Saw. Getting charge on hit is quite nice in situations where you've almost got it but are being attacked up close. It's super helpful in those clutch moments, especially when there's not much time left in the round. Granted, you only get 20% here compared to the 25% it used to have. It's still a game changer in the right hands, with how much early momentum it's capable of providing you and your team. And that's all of them. As you can see, Doc's got some of the best stuff in the game. And even though he doesn't have nearly as much as other classes, he sure knows how to make them work. But what do you think of Doctor's weapons? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching until the end. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and I'll see you all next time.